this is a public service announcement.
Welcome to the Chronic Podcast.
Hello. Hola.
It's a Thursday today.
Don't take this thing too serious.
It is
We tried.
Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
Enjoy the experience of what we call life. Now, it's important that in these times we come together instead of divide. We stand tall and we shine. Because time is all we have, you see. So let's use it wisely.
We're going to try to use it wisely
Love
today.
one another and speak kind.
Be kind, guys.
Let's be
All we need. More kindness.
Welcome. What's our topic today, or do we have some news? Do you want to share some news first?
Hello, everyone. That is way too fast to slow down.
Sorry. Do I need to
You
go?
have a sativa this morning?
No, I did not. Do I need to go smoke?
Do you have any news?
We got a stoner
You got
box.
a stoner box. What do you got in there you can hit?
I don't know. Maybe I
It's
should
right-
grab a try right now.
You need to open the pen and
I think that's a sativa. It's
Give
going to
it a
make it
shot.
even
That's,
worse.
you
You
don't
wanna
need
go-
that shit. So you don't need that shit.
All right.
What are we talking about today?
so
Mo?
our topic today is
Mental
cannabis and mental health.
Mental health.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna ask-
a lot, guys.
We have a lot on mental health, but can I ask a real quick question? Consciousness is like the biggest portion of mental health. If you're not
No,
conscious,
it's not.
It's all about
Consciousness is like.
if you can't
First of
determine
all,
whether
we
you're
don't have
conscious,
we don't.
then
I
you
don't-
have no mental health. If
that
you
is
have, if
something
you cannot, what's
do
first?
you think it's the same?
The consciousness or the mental health? Come on, Dustin.
It's a part of it. I mean, I think it's
If you're not conscious, there's no mental
But here's the
health.
thing. I don't think we have our own consciousness. I think there's a collective
con-
consciousness we all tap into. And that's why shit can go for hours. And that
We'll
has nothing
discuss
to do with mental
consciousness
health.
another
say
day.
you want to dive into this. No, we definitely each have our own consciousness, but we can tap into the collective consciousness.
Is it really collective?
Yeah.
Something.
I think so.
I've felt it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's something.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Yeah,
discuss
for
that.
sure.
We'll have to discuss
Yes.
consciousness.
That's
on the
why I
next-
said that could be a 3-hour
Well,
show
yeah,
all by
yeah.
itself. I was
but
like, we got to stick to mental health because that's some other shit too.
True, but I wanted to ask some foundational thing on mental health. If you're trying to determine mental health and the things inside mental health, doesn't that have to have some sort of consciousness to be able to determine whether you're mentally
You can
healthy or
relate
not?
to it, yeah.
Well, because so people
I guess
determine
so.
their
I just
consciousness
think of two
differently.
totally different. I see them as two totally different subjects.
Well, so if my mental
You
health,
can relate to it, though.
if my mental
in some
health,
cases, consciousness.
Yeah.
Like if you are not conscious there.
I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess I think
just
I
asking a
wasn't
question.
thinking of like.
I don't want to go into the deep consciousness of what consciousness
I
means.
didn't mean that. I wasn't doing that. I was saying like in my. Sometimes I don't have words. I only have feelings, and it's hard.
Yeah.
I just asked that question because if
Especially
you're
with
saying,
consciousness, words are hard sometimes.
yeah, if you're conscious, your brain is functioning, then you can travel down the road of mental health because it's all about your brain and what's going on in there. If you have zero consciousness or
You
there is no
you can't have a conversation about anything.
you can't have a conversation about anything, and mental health doesn't exist because your mental capacity is obsolete or gone. And so I'm just curious if the art of consciousness has anything to do with our mental health, because you would probably say that some
It
people
relates. You can relate to
are
it.
mentally unhealthy because of what they believe in their own conscious world. And that may be the stuff that they've affected themselves with, whether it be chemicals or cannabis or whatever, or just the miswiring of the brain that has happened in their life for whatever reasons. So I'm curious, in the conversation of mental health, and when we go down it, how deep does the fact of being conscious play into that? And for me personally, I think it's the number one thing, which we will discuss in another episode.
I mean, in that instance, being conscious plays into everything. Like with that
100%.
argument, being conscious plays into every
Yeah.
single thing ever. Like
Yeah.
because you don't have anything
True.
without that. So I
That's a
guess that's
whole
where
episode.
I say mental illness and consciousness are two different topics because I
They
feel
are.
like consciousness can go with that argument in every single aspect of life,
Right.
but also it's its own completely separate different topic.
True. That's why I just wanted to ask a question at the beginning of mental health, just to get the mind going.
Yeah, also to give our listeners some context, Jake wanted to have this episode about consciousness.
Consciousness.
Well, mental health
So
focused
he
on
wanted
consciousness.
He wanted it mental health with an emphasis on
Focus
consciousness.
on
Yeah,
Yes.
focus on consciousness.
Yeah,
And I said those are two totally different subjects.
So we'll do consciousness another day, but mental health.
I think you need to alter your state of conscious and hit that pen.
Well, according to scientists, nothing kills you faster than trying to run a profitable weed business. So I'm trying to get
Ta-dun-da-dun, news
my
of the day.
my consciousness and my mental health straight. So maybe I should try
Oh,
a pen.
it's
But
news
I
of
don't
the
know
day.
that pen, so it
It might make you, especially if it's a sativa.
Hand it to me.
Listen,
While you guys
speaking
talking, I'm going to explore
she's like,
this.
I'm going to hit it. I saw something. Where was it? I saw, hold that thought, guys. I think I took a screenshot of it. I saw an Arizona senator has filed legislation to criminalize weed smoke odor because it's offensive.
What?
But yet he admitted he never thought to do that for cigarette smoke.
What kind of crack baby is this guy? Like seriously, what kind of stuff?
Listen,
affects
I
these
used to be a
people's
middle
brain?
school nurse. And as a middle school, if anyone who is in a middle school knows, that's when a lot of the kids discover Axe body spray. And I'm going to tell you, that's super fucking offensive to be
That's
overwhelmed
probably more
with
harmful
that.
to you than
It's
cannabis
way-
because
my
of all the
goodness.
freaking
No,
crap that
it's
they
way
put in
more
there.
harmful
my
to be
gosh, yeah. Oh,
smell
chemical.
that. So it's just silly that we're trying to legislate odors
Smell?
now when there are way
Odors.
more.
I wonder what other odors they gonna just.
Can I
make it-
legislate
make
the
it illegal?
shit smell that's coming out of your mouth?
Or butthole?
Well, with these people,
Plug it up.
the politicians, it's their mouth. It was kind of nice during
we gonna-
COVID when they were
we
wearing
gonna ban
masks.
fart.
Yeah, banned farts. Yeah.
Anyways, I
It's
thought that was
offensive odor.
I thought that was a fun little news story that I saw.
I can't believe
It was in Arizona.
yeah, the mental unhealth of the people that are running this thing.
So, all
It's
right, what did you find out
fascinating.
about that? Are you going to try it?
And I can't even open it.
Yeah, one arm.
Jake, do you have any other news before we go to the man?
Any other news? Let's see. Like in the state of Tennessee, not really much when it comes to.
We're still on track to have the laws change in July.
Well, I mean, the
Yes,
laws have
so
already
far that's-
changed. They changed and were implemented and started in January. As of now, we're just operating still underneath our old licensing.
so
because,
same old there.
yeah. So I mean, if I was
So nothing new in Tennessee.
if I was if I was a new company in Tennessee looking to get into the cannabis business and walked into a store like this, hey, this is a great idea. I got a bunch of money. I want to start it. You couldn't do it.
Well, no,
you
because
can't.
You can't do it.
You can't get licensed to do it now. You can get
And-
licensed to get it through the ABCs, like right now, and the ABC is kind of taking over regulatory control. But all that again is like we were discussing, just a giant shit show. It's just they don't know what they're doing. They have
So
no
same
idea how
old,
to reg-
same old in
Yes.
Tennessee, making mental health even worse. That's
Yes.
why we need weed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It feels like we are going backwards instead of moving forward.
Well,
in
we're
cannabis
moving
regulations.
forward. Everybody's moving forward. We got to this point. We have basically what is an operating dispensary style cannabis shop here in Tennessee, and we sell all of the legal products that we can source that have the same stuff that a dispensary would have in Colorado, California, Vegas, Amsterdam, what have you. However, it's the politicians and the money grubbing folks that want to take and shut this down. They want to grab a hold of the revenue stream. They don't care about the health benefits. They don't care about all that kind of
And
stuff.
as a
Unless it benefits
business-
their health,
As
their
a
revenue
business
stream.
owner, that's messing up with my mental health, guys.
It is mental health. Speaking of mental health, so we're going to transition into that away from. Was that
Transition.
all the news you had? Sorry, because
yeah, well,
nothing new in Tennessee.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
the
same old,
thing,
same
yeah.
old.
The news isn't there. There really isn't any like major news when it comes to cannabis regulation, reform, none of that stuff. It's just getting more and more dirty, and the waters are getting more muddied by the difference between marijuana and hemp and the federal and the state and
Yes, it's,
state
again,
to state.
same old,
and,
same old.
Yeah, we're just
Nothing new.
now we're gonna legislate in one state that the odor is offensive, and you can. I mean,
Oh, those I think are funny. I think things
are
like that
funny.
are
Well,
funny. Like, is that really going to happen? Like, come on.
Well, the ridiculousness of it is that in our country and even in our state right now, there are laws on the books that if you ride your horse at blah 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 at a certain time, of
Right.
day
There are
on the
silly
you
laws
can
on the
go to-
books now, and no one pays attention to it. So,
So all of that stuff
Yeah.
is just whether or not somebody
Wasting
wants
money.
Yes, wasting money
Wasting
and time.
money.
So I don't have any more news at all.
Okay.
But we can go into mental health, and I do have a study that says cannabis boosts brain flexibility by activating key brain cells. That makes my mental health better.
Does any of you have very little, at least just a little background about CB1, CB2 receptors? Which one relates to like brain? So
Well, the
we
CB1
start from
receptors
there.
are in your brain, and our
Right.
bodies have cannabinoid 1 and cannabinoid 2 receptors. CB1 are majority in your brain, CB2 majority in your gut, which a lot of your feel-good, happy hormone receptors are in your gut as well. Gut
Right.
health really is important
Oh,
with mental
absolutely.
health too, like depression
like-
and that type of
it's-
stuff.
Right.
attached.
But the fact that CB1 receptors is on our brain, that right there, it tells me mental health totally relates to cannabis. Totally relates to our mental health.
Yeah, but like I said,
'Cause
your
it's
gut,
mood and,
but your
you know.
gut has so many receptors in it for your mood, and
Right.
so CB2 in your gut is just as important.
As important. So they both affect your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your stomach doesn't feel good, your gut doesn't feel good, your headspace is down. So if your gut feels better, then your brain probably
Well, not just that, the food that we eat, the processed, the chemicals that are in our food, like we were talking about the corn being
Pesticides,
sprayed with the pesticides, like all of that is really harsh on our gut, which is really bad for mental health too. I mean, yes, it causes upset stomach and IBS and all of these other physical things, but mentally it causes issues as well.
Does cannabis cause any mental health issues?
In the cannabinoid system,
Yeah.
it creates balance in our body.
Yeah, that's its only job and function, right?
Okay. So that right there, again, that statement, that scientifically proven fact,
Yeah.
tells that directly affects in our
Mental health. Setting
Yes,
balance.
but since I believe the 70s, there's been a study out there saying that heavy marijuana use, especially in younger ages,
Absolutely.
can cause
Yeah.
schizophrenia.
Because there's
So-
brain cells are still not totally
Developing.
developed. And again, that makes total sense. That can create early on when they started, like I think before age of 22 or something.
Well, schizophrenia usually starts showing up. It's typically seen more in males than it is females, and it typically starts showing up in your late teens, early 20s. So that's typical anyways. So I've always wondered, is there a correlation with, I mean, that's usually the time you start using marijuana if you're using, and then that's the age you would typically get diagnosed. Women are usually a few years later if they were to be
So
diagnosed.
are they attributing it just to marijuana, or is there other factors? Now, what is the studied
So the
causes
study
of-
for this, and I did a lot of digging on this because for my whole life I've heard that marijuana can cause schizophrenia, and so I really did some deep dive into this.
Do you have a definition of schizophrenia, just for those who don't really know?
Well, schizophrenia is some of the symptoms. I mean, I can give you a exact definition,
yeah,
but
just
some of the
wanna-
symptoms are like psychosis type symptoms.
Psychosis, meaning your brain just does different things. thinks
Well,
different
like
things.
hallucinations, paranoia, delusions, delusional thoughts, that type of psychosis.
Okay, those are. I'm just digging in a little bit in my own brain. Those are kind of broad descriptive terms, which are good. So delusions, psychosis, hallucination, and paranoia. Okay, so all of that particular feelings or things that happen.
Here, I'll give you the exact definition.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Chronic severe brain disorder causing people to interpret reality abnormally, often characterized by hallucinations, delusions, and disordered thinking. It disrupts daily life, making work or social functioning challenging. Treatment includes medication and therapy to manage symptoms.
Okay,
No
so
cannabis?
so I,
No,
cannabis?
it doesn't. That is not a treatment for schizophrenia. No.
Well, that's.
I'm
no,
I have
hold
a
on.
shitload
That's
of
based
questions.
on research, but based on experience. We have many people. They come here
Who
with
have schizophrenia.
schizophrenia, and they
Specifically
use
from those
products
functions.
for it.
But I'll say
So
this:
I'm
they use
wondering how it's
CBD
helping.
products.
Yeah.
Yes, because the
Some of them
research.
with little bits of THC, but to see, it's all about balance.
It's all about
Yeah.
balance. It is definitely about balance. It's about knowing your body. But from the research that I've done, CBD does help with those symptoms. THC actually causes the symptoms
Especially
to be worse.
high potency. You are right.
Yes.
High potency.
Yes.
Higher potency THC on CB1 receptors in your brain could
I mean,
help
but think about it. Some people
my-
if you smoke a sativa, that's too strong, and
Yeah,
you get
you get
paranoid,
paranoia,
and you're like,
I'm gonna-
that is
Sure.
technically
Anxious,
that's
yeah.
a psychosis symptom. That's a acute psychosis symptom.
Sure.
But once you're not high from that sativa anymore, it's gone. So that's what the
Sure. Can I want to just verify some facts, because in all of this stuff, the factual basis by which we are educatedly talking about it means something to me. Here's the educated fact that I like to know. So in these people who have these delusions, these problems, whatever, is the other factors of their life totally clean and normal, and it's just the cannabis that they've pointed out as being a problem? And in the cannabis, is the cannabis they're using something that has been altered or has things other than the cannabis in there? Like we were talking about flour that's sprayed, chemicals, the pesticides that are on things, the solvents that are used in extraction processes, all of these particular different...
Well, I think you need to look further into the person themselves. Do you have any other
sugar deal from when they were
any
kids?
other things going on in your system that causes the THC to react to trigger the schizophrenia?
Right.
So those are the studies then I would be very interested in, and they're not studying.
Well,
Because when they-
I will
when they-
say
when-
this. I did find after hours of digging, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, people who carry certain gene types are more likely to experience psychosis. People with an unusual variation of the AKT1 gene are more likely to have psychosis. And then their
they
risk
already have
they
it
already
in
have that
them.
risk,
Yeah.
and then the risk becomes higher if they smoke marijuana. So they were already predisposed because of this gene mutation.
That makes
So
a bit
it's
more
not cannabis
sense.
that's creating, but
It kind
getting
of kicks
high.
it into
That makes me feel a little bit better, because I'll use it in this, and I know what that means. In her, she has a DVT, deep vein thrombosis, that there's a gene that's flipped from an A to a G. I can't remember exactly what it is. That makes the protein in her blood coagulate a whole lot faster than normal. So her blood is thicker. If she eats certain things like green lettucey things, spinach, kale, blah, 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 like that, the particulars in that plant are
harmful.
Yeah, are harmful and can elevate that. Now, is she going to die if she has a kale and spinach
Right.
salad? No, but that's on a very controlled level. On the other side of it, if she goes into the doctor and a doctor gives her something like the low estrin FE deal, says this is going to help you out, but didn't do any of the other research and finds out she has this, that particular product creates
right.
that same stuff, because it's helping thicken your blood.
Right.
And that's what caused a pulmonary embolism. It wasn't. It was the wrong combination of things that brought it to that maximum.
The wrong causation. The wrong
causation.
causation.
So
it kind of activates that.
And at the end of the day, that's why there are really all of the research at the end of the day, it just needs to be studied more, because we have lots of studies from the 50s, 60s, 70s of, like we said, with the monkeys and it kills brain cells.
Well,
but
yeah,
then
you have
how
no
is-
oxygen.
Right. So we need to do more studies in a non-biased way, because those studies, you know, 70 years ago, however long ago that was, 60 years ago, they were biased towards not.
So what we have currently going on then is our government, or the people that have all the money, the educational institutions that want to study this, the pharmaceutical industry that wants to study this, are going to do it in that way that you just said. It's not going to be a non-biased. It's going to be a biased study, because they're trying to gather the
But
market.
I don't know. I would say I feel like we are definitely leaning more towards having non-biased studies in this day and age. Like I
Absolutely.
said,
They
should.
I don't think we would be having this I mean, I know we weren't having, these many people weren't having these conversations 20, 30 years ago. I mean, it's a total different environment now. So I do, and maybe that's me just being totally optimistic, but I do think we are starting to have more studies with non-biased research and going into it, just seeing what really happens with it. This plant, because this plant is really helpful.
The example of that, guys, Dr. Gerber from Harvard Medical School that did the study. did the study on actually human, the cannabis consumers, and they have found some really cool
Some findings.
results.
What
Yeah.
were they?
That it does help on. We were talking about it does help in mental health,
Yeah.
as long as you're not consuming in early young.
Well,
sure
you don't get
PTSD,
out to.
it's great for PTSD.
I'm sure there are some scientific factors, but all those factors are going to be individual. And
Especially before age of 16, it says.
It's worse before age 16.
Yeah. Keep going. Sorry, I got.
I mean, your brain isn't fully developed to your
Right.
late 20s.
It's
So,
common
I
sense.
mean, that is common sense.
do I think that young people should have high doses of THC?
No.
High?
But I
No,
think
don't.
CBD can absolutely be helpful for certain things.
I think even some THC can be helpful. But here's my problem with all of this stuff. Here we live in a day and age where the parents producing children have genetic or aspects about their own physical being, whether it be the food, chemicals, this, that, all the stuff that they put in their body, and then produce a child with that chemical genome makeup. Now, whether that's right or wrong in some cases, that needs correcting and functioning. So you give medicines, or you give different food things, or you do whatever. Cannabis in that whole process is the one substance that feeds a system that balances everything else. And if you were to give humanity clean sourced cannabis, not stuff with all the extra chemicals in it, and remove all the
They
garbage.
can't even do that with our food. Come on now.
You people suck. You people suck.
Who are you talking?
The
government.
government. Do not say that you are the greatest country in the history of the world forever and ever, amen, if this is what your population is. I am by
Sima's
no
about to yell at you. Don't talk
don't-
about my country this way.
fuck you. You suck. You suck beyond suck. Beyond suck.
You take this off of this. Cut this part, Dustin.
Well, I saw a study.
It's mind numbing. I'm having
It
a
is
I'm
mind-numbing.
having a mental breakdown because no, seriously, it's
Mental
more
health.
weed.
You want some
More
CBD?
I do, yeah, because it just boggles my mind that I have to sit here and have a conversation about how cannabis has killed 0 people of the whole of our recorded human history. Even the shit cannabis out there that is not the greatest stuff doesn't kill people unless the product that it's put in it is meant to kill
Accepted.
somebody. Yeah,
Well, in a
it
study,
just blows my fucking mind that these people are just in that world of.
I know. I want to tell you about a study about PTSD on veterans that were using cannabis to help with their PTSD. And they were clinically diagnosed with PTSD. They were, after a year, the cannabis users were 2.5 times more likely to not meet the clinical diagnosis for PTSD anymore because of the cannabis use, helping
Yeah,
them so
right
much.
cannabis use.
Right. And when I say cannabis, in these studies, it's typically higher CBD, lower THC dosages.
Sure.
It's just been proven time and time again to be so helpful.
I mean,
in that.
guys, just think about it. If you are in pain, you don't have right mental health. Your body is suffering
You're
from pain.
grumpy,
So
you're
by
hurting.
using cannabis like CBD, when you balancing your pain and you're getting rid of that, your mental health is improving. When
Yeah.
you are stressed out, when you can't sleep, your
with
mental health is not
with
right.
PTSD,
Yeah.
you have nightmares, you're decreased
Right.
sleeping, and cannabis helps stop the nightmares, helps increase your sleep, which just better mental health.
Right, your mood, all of that. When you are helping that, it is helping your mental health. So it's just
Yeah.
common sense there.
It is common sense. So if we're at that level of common sense, I'm not a smart person. Common sense.
I mean, common sense helps, but at the end of the day, as a medical professional, I need proof. I need to see proof.
But just-
and yes, I have my years and years of my personal proof, but I want double-blind, controlled placebo.
This Dr. Gerber from
Dr. Gerber.
from Harvard Medical School actually did this study on human.
Yeah.
And based on her study, it actually does help on mental health.
Yes.
Again,
And there
because
have
of-
been some like that, but like
Right.
I said, there needs to be more because we're fighting the studies that said the opposite 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
I would be willing to bet there are.
But I
lots of
agree, it's
studies out
biased
there.
studies, I believe.
It is biased studies because most of the majority of things that are put out for us to consume as either education, because I don't trust the education system, or media, I don't trust those people, or legislative via government, don't trust those people, because the common sense that I have is counter most of what those groups are selling and pushing on us. And they continue to sell us pharmaceuticals, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, processed food, all of the garbage, all the media, all of the social media, all of the shit that's out there. They continue to push it to us and tell us that it's
And how bad is all of that for your mental health?
And
Every one of them.
it kills
Right, because
people.
it's hurting your gut, which is hurting your mental health.
It kills people every single day. But we are sitting here having a conversation and begging for the same type of access to the product that we have to all these other products that they're pushing on us and telling us in commercial every single day. These things are, ask your doctor about this thing. But they don't
You know,
they can-
only 2 countries
Are
in the
you
world are
fucking
allowed
kidding
drug
me?
advertising. I believe it's us and New Zealand. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
But
There's so many of them. Too.
Yeah.
these particulars of that group that runs that it's insane to me. It blows my mind that
Well, there's no money in the pushing cannabis for the big
Yeah.
big pharma.
that again
There's no
just,
money in
that
that.
again just tells me dirtbags.
But as far as like other
Dirtbags.
mental health disorders, bipolar disorder, it has shown to be a mood stabilizer for people with bipolar disorder. Now, sometimes it can, again, it's know your dose, know your body, because it can, the wrong dose, wrong,
Maybe even the strain.
maybe
Wrong-
even the
wrong
strain, like a sativa, it
of
could
that.
cause a manic episode.
Yeah.
So you do have to know, it could trigger a manic episode in someone with bipolar disease, but
If you give
If
them the
you-
wrong stuff, absolutely.
that's
yeah.
why at the end of the day, you really have to know you. Higher CBD is just, it's going to be a mood stabilizer, mood enhancer, anti-anxiety. It's
and
really going to help with
inflammatory.
that.
I mean, it helps.
Just
in
because we
everything.
say cannabis doesn't mean you have to be high out of
No,
high.
and it doesn't have to mean straight THC
No.
either. And there are like a whole bunch of different types of THC. But see,
Right.
this is
This is where the education needs to happen and the studies need to happen because there's so much more than the
studying happens every single day. Every single day that we open our doors, we study. Like seriously, I have
right. But for
customers
the
coming-
scientific community,
Sure.
you need
Sure. So then the scientific community needs to then do that tandemly with the recreational community. Because here's the deal. I mean, as a doctor, if I was doing some sort of pharmaceutical drug and Pfizer came out with this new fantastic whatever drug, and you have to do controlled tests because you can't just hand this out to everybody because it's a actually man-made drug. And there are side effects like death and most of the crap that they talk about. In cannabis, there's not. Like I can have somebody come in here who's got schizophrenia, this thing, that thing, whatever else. And because I understand my product, I can say, here, try this out. It's not going to kill them.
Well, let's be fair. In someone with schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, it could trigger a manic type episode or psychosis
Sure.
type episode that could then cause them to make some really poor choices that could be the end.
It depends what you're giving them.
There might be a
Right.
domino
If you
effect.
give them right products, it will affect.
I
Totally
just have to be like,
opposite.
Yeah, as a person.
Isn't
who-
that like medicine too? When you go to
oh, for sure. I mean,
How many
You have to
how
have
many
the right
doctors go?
product.
I don't know. I got all these things. Why don't you just try this one and come back and tell me what you
this
think?
drug rep brings me good lunch on Fridays, so why don't we try their drug? That's what the doctor
That's what's
said.
happening. That's exactly what's happening. But here in this, and I've used all of this stuff, and so has most of my team, in order to educate somebody. Hey, look, don't eat a whole gummy. Eat a quarter of a gummy. Ease into it, Or this is CBD. This is THC. You use a little less THC and a little more CBD. All of these things are at that point. Not the doctors and pharmacists and whoever else studying at point in a controlled room. And that's the difference between cannabis and all this other stuff. Like, I get it when it comes to modern medicine and the fact that some of these medicines may be helpful, but also can harm.
Oh, for sure.
Cannabis, as long as, again, it's cleanly sourced and properly educated about, There's zero death associated with it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, people have had bad experience. I've had customers come in here and say, God, they told me to take this gummy and it made me freak out. Well, then you took too much, take less. This education at that point is the absolute best case scenario.
Education is huge.
Right. Problem
not
is we don't
just-
have a lot of education at the sale point. We don't have a lot of education at the produce point. We don't have any education whatsoever at the legislative point.
We need just general population education.
Yeah.
Because I
Right.
think that the more broad general education we can get, first of all, it makes people less scared to
Scared.
walk in here and ask about
Right.
products
That's what we
and how to get
produced.
educated. Like that's people just there's still such a stigma attached
Yeah.
Right.
that they are even fearful to be educated on it.
But
Yeah.
then the legislative folks doing what they did with cannabis here in Tennessee and in federal government world when it comes to marijuana or hemp didn't make it any better or easier for the public to get educated. They actually made it worse and harder. They made it more convoluted and screwed up and less understanding rather than more understanding.
That's why I'm hopeful if we can get more studies, more research, more scientific backing from the scientific community, then hopefully it can be heard more logically from the general population.
I have a feeling that it won't because they can't figure out how to capitalize on it. See, with a drug that they can capitalize on and push, and they know a marketing plan, like, oh, like if we get this drug and we put this out there, we do this thing, everybody's going to want to be thin. Ozempic. Yay, there you go. GLP-1s. Ta-da.
Don't even get me started.
Or whatever. This thing lowers your blood pressure. Or you can go out and do this. I mean, you see the commercials on TV all day long. If they can get your doctor to give you this and then sell millions of those pills at $300 a pill, that's $300 million. And you do that consecutively, that's their profit line. They don't know how to do that with a plant. And they don't know how to educate the level of what the plant can do. And it takes out their huge profit margins.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That is the problem because it's so helpful in mental health and
Yeah. My mental health. True.
as a mood stabilizer, like I said. It does that for bipolar disorder. I think it's for everyone. It's just a great mood stabilizer.
It is. If you
It
do the
is.
right stuff, you don't need to be doing too much of the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
quality product.
guys, I forgot to tell you guys about the study that I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
They have a grant of $4.5 million for this study. It reminds me of what Dustin said earlier, you know. Until,
What'd he say?
Until money, they're after the money. Probably, I'm not going to go there. $4 million is in their pocket and $500,000 is spent on the study. So there is going to be studies, Jake, based on what I saw.
And you're right, there are. And they're going to study this stuff. But where is the money coming from? Who is it coming from? What is the study really going to achieve and gain? And,
Well, and then
what
you're
is the
still-
what is the end result process?
Right, because
that's
you
going to
still
give-
have people against, like I told you this study on the veterans who after a year's cannabis use, they were 2.5 times more likely to not meet the criteria to be diagnosed with
So that
PTSD
takes
anymore.
the-
However, the Department of Veterans Affairs is completely against the use of cannabis for their
Because it doesn't keep them in the process where they can keep charging the insurance companies and keep
Yep.
putting money in their pocket. See, this is just a cycle of capital.
yeah,
Yep.
That's what it ends up being.
yeah.
So
Which
then,
is sad because it's really, truly helping people where they need help. I mean, to live with PTSD is very difficult.
It's insane.
It's a hard life to live. And if it's truly helping, then,
Which is
and if it's helping with depression and anxiety, those are all things that you can take pills for that can poison you in so many different ways and have all these different side effects. But if you could find the right dose for your body, the right strain, and get the right, more natural, that's the route that I think should be.
what I've found and heard is that in all of these studies, the ones that are done right prove that cannabis is okay.
Right.
100%.
But it doesn't fit the narrative.
Doesn't fit the narrative. I don't know what the narrative is or why they want to stop that, but they're okay telling us that sugar is okay, caffeine is okay, nicotine is okay, alcohol is okay, pharmaceuticals are okay. All these things are totally okay. to fix whatever. And they kill you. All of them kill you.
And that's okay too.
And that's okay too. But cannabis, who has killed zero in the whole recorded human history, needs more study, more time, more effort.
I want more study for proof as a nurse. I mean,
I'm right
I
there.
know the proof is there. I want more study for proof for the other people.
That's not
That's
hard.
why
That's
I'm-
not hard to do if you get out of the way of it. Because
Yeah.
if you get out of the way of it, and all of a sudden, here we had, instead of CVS's everywhere or Walgreens everywhere, filled with all of the pharmaceutical prescriptions that come from a couple, 2-3 companies, and we had cannabis in there, and it was
First of all, it would be a much happier world. I feel like, don't you guys think like people would just be happy?
Mental health.
Yes.
I think so.
Mental health. At the end of the day, we need more weed for a happier
Yeah.
world.
Happier, healthier.
I've never seen really a pissed off high person. I've seen,
I have.
except for me.
How did you know I was thinking of? No, I was kidding. No, I've definitely seen pissed off high people. But I mean, for the most part, it is a mood stabilizer, mood enhancer. It does have that effect on you and does help with depression, does help with anxiety. And
That's
again,
it with the sleep, yeah.
again, it's more, a lot of times more CBD, less THC. You just got to find that
Absolutely.
balance.
Yeah.
I just want it to be fair. I want it to be fair.
Nothing's fair in life, Jake.
Especially to CBD. There's no fairness to CBD.
No.
I feel like everybody knows more about THC when it comes to CBD, which is so much beneficial.
So much
helpful.
benefit.
People don't
So much
realize that you
benefit.
don't get high from it and that it does all these other things.
Right, all the good things
Yeah.
here.
You know, I probably honestly take a whole lot more CBD during the day than
I've been
most people.
taking, ever since my arm is like this, I've been taking literally so much CBD. And if it wasn't because of that, I would probably drive you crazy. Because I'm getting so agitated, I can't do my thing, and that's just calming me
Right.
down.
So that's another
Right.
instance of where CBD helps with your mental health. You're agitated and in
Right.
pain and
Right.
frustrated, and
Sleep,
it's helping
and
with
it's-
all of that.
Totally.
You're not getting high from it. You're just
No.
getting the
Inflammation now,
right.
like it's helping.
You're just getting the benefits from it.
But do you need a doctor and a bunch of study for that? I mean, we should study it.
We
but
should study it for-
Do you need that
No, you don't.
prior to? Is there some sort of prerequisite?
It's no, because we know it's not. At the end of the day, there are some plants
Right.
you can take and it could kill you. I can't think of any.
Poison ivy.
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there are some. But that you're right. You don't need.
Right.
We don't need to halt the adult access to clean, good marijuana, hemp product, all of it. In
Not
order,
just adult access, but child access with adult
supervision.
Supervision. Like we can
We
give
should
them
not-
kids Ritalin, and that's like legal crack.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, in schools and everything, they're shoving all sorts of shit to kids.
Right.
Here, take these pills. Take these
Right.
pills. Take these pills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're encouraging them. to-
and
Exactly.
those things are proven to actually promote schizophrenia, self harm, suicide action, harm against other people. I mean, we're personally experienced.
Oh
in
yeah, I
this
was a
kind of
school
thing.
nurse for a long
So
time.
you understand.
So I'm very experienced in that as well. Yes.
CBD, zero, none. So we should have
No.
access to that. We should have.
Can you
access to
imagine
all
though
of it.
if I were a school nurse and I were found giving kids CBD? I would lose my nursing license. I would like
Which is insane because CBD is actually the one thing that helps balance you out more than anything
right,
else.
but yet I'm passing out Ritalin like it's fucking candy.
Yeah.
You're basically shooting kids up
Drug
with
dealer.
heroin,
No.
crack.
Yeah.
Meth.
More like
I don't know.
crack. Ritalin is
They're all
like
about
Ritalin's an upper. It's like crack, meth, cocaine. It's illegal amphetamine. I mean, it's an amphetamine.
But it's in
Legal
our
crack.
school. It's in our schools, and the school nurses are pushing it in our kids.
Well, the school nurses aren't pushing it. Whoa,
Some of them-
whoa,
some of-
whoa there.
Some
Whoa
of them might be.
there. No, they are not.
They're not.
School nurses are simply handing out the prescription that the doctors have written for the children, and the parents bring in and said, you need to medicate my child at lunch every day. So the nurses aren't pushing it. They're just doing their job and handing it out.
all of this is totally okay, but if you change the name and the product to something
To
that
CBD.
is actually better, everybody loses their damn mind. What is wrong with our world? Is there any common sense anymore? No, I think everybody's got some mental disorders, quite honestly.
Everybody needs CBD.
Yes.
In a conclusion, everybody needs CBD.
I think I've said this before. We need to get a hold of the people that are spraying out of the planes and get some fucking weed smoke coming out of there. I'm just
I love
doubling
that
down.
I love that idea.
In the churches with the little things,
Yes.
the planes with the things.
Yes, just get
Instead of
the-
making clouds out of
It will be
THC.
aluminum
better
and barium,
world.
make it out of
Cannabis.
Cannabis, yeah. Just
Cannabis smoke.
have a big plane that flies off. You just pile all the weed in there, and then that's what makes the plane go.
All right, so that's all I got on mental health for today. Let's smoke some weed and get happy.
I was just thinking the other thing
Get
that
mentally happy.
when it comes to mental health, like when I think about the countries that they are illegal and the countries that they are not legal when it comes to cannabis, and like for example Iran, look at the government in Iran. How's like literally, it's like wild nonsense things they are doing. So they don't have mental health.
They need cannabis to help calm.
But look at the Amsterdam on the other side.
They're pretty
But
mentally.
everybody was
yeah,
calm.
I would like to. I don't know that I can get behind that statement. Amsterdam's got its all. It's
I had no
Amsterdam.
problem in Amsterdam. Did you?
I didn't have any problem in Amsterdam. Amsterdam
Everybody
was,
was
they
happy
were all in their own world. Everybody was kind of doing their own thing.
Peace. They had peace.
Yeah, they were within themselves, but sometimes their selves. I wasn't so sure that the mental stability was there. There's some mentally unstable things happening in Amsterdam, but they stayed within themselves. They didn't carry out their mentals.
I mean, there's mentally unstable shit happening everywhere.
Just because they don't probably believe in what you believe, that doesn't mean they are
No, I
mentally
don't know.
unstable.
No, the reason why I say that is not because of what the belief systems are. It has to do with the fact that in that restaurant we had that encounter with all of that
You're
weird.
basing the whole city off of one restaurant. You
No,
can't do
I wasn't basing it off of just one restaurant, but this restaurant had some wacky, mentally messed up things in it that just didn't make any sense.
So it fucked with your mental health.
Yeah, I did. And there were things like that around the city and the way that it was going
But
on.
see, it was not fucking with their mental
No,
health,
because
the
they were
people,
they
because
were all
they're
cool
just-
with it.
So everybody's high.
Yeah, they were all high.
That's what I mean.
All right, for your mental health.
Yeah.
Go
What
smoke a
else?
bomb.
Smoke weed. Where do you think you stand mentally on cannabis before we decide to?
This is me personally. Cannabis, marijuana, hemp, whatever you want to go with it. It's a world for itself. As for medical, as for everything, there's a world in it that she's right. It needs to be studied.
Sure.
But experience has been there for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. It's very ancient. This is nothing new. But what we need more studies so we can discover and put the knowledge out there for other people so they know the benefits of it. Because when I think about it, there's so much to it. It can be physical, mental, or anything you want to put it. There's such a big world in it that is untapped.
Totally.
That is like not even like medicinally. I feel like if we
Cannabis
discover
is
all the
very
benefits of it, and again, what strain does what cannabinoid doing what in our body, and each individual is so different. We know how to introduce this to people's body so they get maximum help without feeling like out of control or none of the effects that people don't
The
want.
negative side
Right,
effects.
negative side, because it can have negative. If you are consuming way too much THC, in my opinion, you will see the negative
You'll
side
feel
effects.
yucky.
Back to
Am
your
I consuming
back
way
to
too
your
much
consciousness,
THC?
Wojciech. I believe
Yeah.
like if you are totally conscious, you will not use, unless your body really at that level. But normal situation, generally speaking, you don't need to
No, you don't.
hit the dab constantly all day, every day. Like
I think
maybe,
it.
you know, like you are conscious about it, like
Yeah.
we were talking about, that you are controlling even more, you are not doing, because you are in mental consciousness state that consciously you are like, I'm not going to do this because I'm okay. You know,
Your body
so
doesn't need it.
It can be. I'm going off the subject. I believe, back to your answer, I believe cannabis is a huge world that there needs to be studied, and everybody and anybody, I believe at any age, can benefit from
I agree.
benefits of it. It's just knowing what to use, how
And
much to use.
how to use it responsibly. I think at the end of the day, studies need to be done. Yes, we have personal use and we know how it works for us. But I think at the end of the day, a lot of people need proof to believe things. And I think that's why we need more studies done.
So I then in my statement on it, mental health wise, I'd like to say whoever is giving out grants, I will take a giant chunk of money grant to study cannabis. We need lots and lots and lots of people who have never used cannabis before to come on in and test out all the cannabis products that will be provided by all of the giant grant money that the government is going to give us to get all this fantastic cannabis product here to test for you. And you come in and use it, and we'll write the stuff down. We'll hire a couple of doctors and nurses in that whole scenario to test and see how all of cannabis works with everybody out there who wants to come and get it. And we'll educate you. That's what I think we should do. That would make my mental health better. Then running a cannabis business would be so fucked up. It would be what the government is trying to do. Study it, learn it, know it, understand it. Fine, give me a bunch of money and let me do it to the level that I need to do it without regulating me, and I'll self-regulate. I'm not going to sell it to kids. I'm not going to sell it to people who don't need it, and I'm going to teach people how to use it. And we'll hire the right people to have in our shop. But that's the way it should be done.
Right.
That would probably alleviate a whole bunch of things. However, I don't know that government giving me a bunch of money makes them a whole bunch of money.
On that note,
That
let's
will
go
happen.
promote our mental health.
We're going to go
And
promote
get high.
the mental health. Have a great day, everybody. Stay within yourself and have good mental health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Peace.
Adios.
And for all of your great cannabis stuff here in Middle Tennessee, come by Cron.
Come see us.
123 Franklin Road in Brentwood.